So Iran has struck another vessel trying to transit the Strait of Hormuz after the US released multiple sanctions, strangling the country to almost death. In fact, they've also released another threat directly, threatening all the countries that will cooperate with the US on their sanction. That they are also going to sanction those countries if you have any vessel that will pass through the Strait of Hormuz, that they are going to strike. And so any kind of deal about managing the U.S. military has responded. In fact, the Secretary of War has responded to Iran on this matter. Listening to the full report.
Any complicity with the United States in carrying out its aggressive actions against Iran will certainly have consequences. Even now, the naval blockade of Iran amounts to an act of aggression. Any escalation of this situation will undoubtedly bring about consequences of its own.
Earlier this morning, another tanker was struck in the Strait of Hormuz with an unknown projectile while transiting the U.S.-approved southern route. The vessel had damage caused to its engine room and was disabled. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth warned Iran against taking further provocative action on Monday.
If Iran is foolish enough to overplay their hand or mess with the American military, we'll do what we need to do. But economic pressure, we know, hurts them the most right now. But by no means are we foreclosing using kinetic strikes anywhere in the Strait of Hormuz or around Iran.
Iran is promising to retaliate against newly expanded U.S. sanctions aimed at cutting Tehran's economic lifeline. Iran's finance minister saying they know how to play the game and the U.S. should be waiting for an attack. Let's bring in Brent Sadler with more on all of this. If there is an attack, it might not be in the Strait of Hormuz because the president said the following. I've just been informed by the United States Navy that all mines have been removed and or detonated from within the international waters of the Strait of Hormuz. Iran has been notified that any ship or boat placing new mines will immediately and systematically be destroyed. Through Space Force, we're watching every square inch of the strait, as we are also with Pickaxe Mountain and the already destroyed 3 other nuclear sites. I mean, do we, in essence, now control the strait?
I think so. I think we've controlled it for quite a long time. It's when you start to talk about the economic side of it, and that's a confidence issue, and whether or not the shippers and the skippers of those tankers are going to be willing to make the run through the straits. And the Iranians attacked a ship just yesterday, damaged it, and they also killed 2 sailors within the last week. So it's not safe within no risk. But there is oil flowing. Thankfully, the pipelines are actually at full capacity or should be even more expanded in the near future. The strategic leverage the Iranians have been able to get from control, or at least threatening, more to the point, the Straits of Hormuz, that's going to start to evaporate.
The Omani foreign minister met with Araghchi, the foreign minister of Iran, over the last day or two, trying to nail down something about the Strait of Hormuz. Do you think that will ever bear fruit?
No, I think far too many of their customers, Iranian customers as well as the rest of the Gulf nations, want and expect free, unimpeded access to the Persian Gulf. And so any kind of deal about managing or putting fees or controlling, restricting the transit through there is not going to, I think, pass muster.
And then there's the threat that President Trump will bomb the hell out of Oman.
Yes, there is that too.
That's in the way. Yeah. The president said this on economic strangulation earlier today. He said, the failing Islamic Republic of Iran is not paying large segments of their military while at the same time killing protesters, even when they're not protesting, at levels not seen before. It's a humanitarian crisis of epic proportions and must be stopped. You know, back in January, we saw street protests coming out because of the declining value of the rial. We also saw shortages of electricity and water. But that was met with deadly force by the IRGC and the Besiege and others. It could have come to a point where people decide to go back out on the streets and the military decides, as we saw in several European countries back in the 1990s, not to mow them down.
That's right. And I think this is one of the key indicators to watch, that the regime is starting to fracture and may start to see its own demise coming about. It's something to watch for sure, but the economic pressure alone has to be backed with military power. And again, like the president talked about, keeping those mines from being replanted or any threats from shipping to be materialized again means you're going to have a proactive military posture to go and attack those threats. The same thing goes with the economics of this whole thing, and that is, as we put more sanctions They also are breaking the networks, the finance, the moving of hard cash, as well as moving products and barter trade that the Iranian regime relies on. That requires not just, moving electronic funds across banks. It's also interdicting and intercepting some of the movement of this cargo.
Well, Scott Bessent said yesterday they've got all of that nailed down. They know where the money is flowing to and from. They know about these ship-to-ship transfers of oil and how to crack down on them. The president said Space Force is watching it all. So we'll see if this works.
No, it was good to see both shipping but also air freight was on that list of the sectors they're focusing on. Mahan Air has been in the crosshairs before, and I think it's going to be again.
All right. No train shipment of weapons from other countries.